To all those who stayed behind is a photographic journey of life dedicated to the downtown east side. We hear the stories, but do we really see? Do we really understand what life is really like here? My journey took me on an emotional ride that at times I just wanted to leave and jump off. As I took these photos, I listened and heard the stories, and as I looked at their faces, it was like looking into a distorted mirror as images of me flashed in my mind. I had once been on the other side. I too had been there. Talking to each person, I would think of family and that they were someone's daughter, son, sister, or brother, and somehow they'd all ended up in the downtown east side, just like I had. Each story so different, yet oddly the same. I see the sadness in their eyes as they talk of how they are living, yet with pride as they tell their story. Was it because I stopped to listen, that I didn't judge, because I cared? The battle scars held in false pride as they struggle to try and make a home with what they have. As I look back, I have no photos of my time on the streets, homeless, or in some seedy hotel. All I have are memories that even now I've tried to forget. It seems like a lifetime ago, yet it was only a few years past. On this journey, I went back to the SRO where I used to live, the Gastown Hotel. A room not much bigger than a jail cell, but with many more roommates, bugs and mice which crawl over you all night and eat what food you have tried to store by hanging it from pipes near the ceiling. The washroom was an adventure unto itself. There was no women's washroom, just one on each floor to be shared by all. 2 toilet stalls with no locks, 1 shower, no door, and some days no shower head. To wash either your hands or your dishes, you stood beside the urinal that wasn't even a sink. It was a laundry tub. In your room, you had no fridge or a place to cook. When I first moved in, they had a stove and fridge near the office, but it was for staff only. On visiting the Gastown, there were a lot of familiar faces, and the conditions were worse, which I really didn't think could be possible. After the renewed connections, hugs, and taking pictures, the blame was cast. They blamed me for how bad the place had become. I fought to get fridges in every room. No one had taken a stand and continued the fight for a safe place to live. Living like this forces you to stand in line after line for soup and sandwiches or outdated bread and pastries. We down here call this the Hastings Street Shuffle. When there are no food lines and you are hungry, a lot of downtown Eastside residents bin for food in dumpsters. In my 50s, this was me. As I walk the streets of the downtown east side every day, I still see myself huddled in doorways, cold and wet, wishing I didn't live like this. Going down is easy. Getting back up is so much harder. I have no photos of this, however. I did see pictures of myself on the internet when I was researching my past. Wait, what is she doing researching her past, you may be asking? Living day to day with no stability, you have no sense of time. Every day is just another day to try and survive. There is no concept of how many days or months have passed. When I saw my picture, I was homeless, living in a contaminated lot with 11 other people. I thought I was doing great back then. I was shocked to see that I was so sick and old, really old. Living here brings feelings of low self-esteem, no self-worth or dignity, and it all came rushing back, and so did the tears. Now as I look at the changes around me, young people looking like they've lived 100 lifetimes, the youth arriving each day thinking this is an adventure, caught up in this unknown but well-known world to be swallowed up into the abyss known as the downtown east side. When I think of how close I came to death, I made a choice. The choice was to live. Each day when I wake up, I don't say why, I say thank you. Now, as I look back on the path I have walked, I appreciate that I'm alive, that I have a roof over my head, a place to cook, and sit around the kitchen table. What was I running from? I may never really fully figure that out, but that's okay. I'm not hiding anymore. I have hundreds of photos now. I take time to look at all that is around me. I play, I learn, I watch, I listen. And until every lock has been opened and every chain has been broken, there will be change, and I will make a difference to the day I die.